Shut up and sit down.
I'd like to welcome everybody to a very special episode of Third Shift. This is episode 198. I, of course, am your host, Eric, because this is how Eric opens it. I want to welcome everybody to a great edition. No, what's up, everybody? It's episode 198. Welcome back to Third Shift. I, of course, am your host, the funky leader, the greatest man who's ever lived. It's me, it's Matt. With me, as always, you heard him earlier, but then he's also here right now, and his voice sounds a little bit different. I don't understand what's going on. It's my buddy, Eric.
A little bit different, but, close enough. Close enough for government work, as I like to say,
That's right. And speaking of work, hey, what you been up to this week, my friend?
Hey, funny you say work, because work. And you know what? My luck continues. The other day, I was like, oh man, gee willikers, a couple bad days, a couple gloomy spots. And of course, I had to whine and cry, and I get home, and we got no power. Trees, as always, in this wonderful town, destroyed everything. Just, blah. Everything's down, internet's down, the power's down. Then they kept going, hey, we're going to fix it. Don't you worry. 3 hours from now, you're going to be back up. 3 hours from now, you're going to be back up. So, of course, I got up for 3 hours all night long, checking the generator, checking the lines, making see what was going on. Delay, all the way until halfway through the day. And, of course, I didn't think I was even going to be here today. In fact, I'd already set my mind to the fact that I wasn't going to be on tonight.
Yeah, same here.
And so now I'm all jacked up. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm lost in the sauce. I'm like flying free right now. Just going, I don't know what's happening. I don't know.
I was so sad. I'm like, oh, this is how I'm going to do the patch notes. This is what I'm going to talk about here. And then you came out, you're like, oh, internet's back. And I went, oh man, not like I don't want you here. You know what I'm saying?
You were exactly. Resigned to what you're doing. You were getting the whole thing formulated. And then it was just like, oh, wait, back to figuring things out and going back and forth again. Okay. And I just went, yeah, I'm back in. And then I went back to work. And then I got here tonight. I went, I didn't do anything. Uh-oh. Here we are. Hey-oh. Now on the gaming front. Because enough with real life. Real life, pish posh. Playing all sorts of Persona 5 Royals. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Got in. Even did some Borderlands 3 too. Was in there trying to get leveled back up again because, of course, everything got destroyed. I had to start all over. Hee-haw, yippee-skippy-dippy-do. I'm almost back up there. I think I'm like level 53 or 54, so we're close. Close enough for government work, as I said just a minute ago. I love that phrase. It's the best phrase in the world. You can never just stop saying it. It's amazing. And then, lastly, but not least, I've been touching on some Destiny 2, boys and girls. Oh, yeah. They came out with their whole big shtick. They're like, hey, guess what? You're getting this whole new Destiny stuff coming this fall or September, whatever you want to say. And right now we got the new season with this and a new dungeon coming out. Well, not coming out, already out for you to play. So, of course, naturally, I was like, well, like a little moth to the flame. I was like, bzzz. My wings!
Terrible.
So I hopped back in, messing around a little bit. I don't know if they're going to need me in my team, they kind of got a fourth already, So I'm like, well, I'm here if you need me, and I'll just sort of be around, so we'll see what happens. My brother just had a kid, so I don't know if he's coming back for 6 months, 1,000 months, or tomorrow. I don't know. You know how that always is. If you've ever had kids, you never know which way that's going to go.
Hey, I didn't know Jared had a kid.
Yeah, just this morning. Congratulations.
Hey, congratulations, Jared.
Exactly.
You won't listen to this, but good on you, pal.
That's right. So beyond all that, not too much. Going camping next week, but I'll tell you all about that on our next show. For now, that's it for me, Matt. What about you?
Oh, man, in the real life front, I can't remember literally anything that's happened like this whole week. It's just been a blur of just whoosh. Gray box at work, and I'm out, and I'm playing a video game. Speaking of video games, got back into Animal Crossing pretty heavy over the past week. What do I always say? Oh, I'm making the island a little better, moving my islanders around. I actually got my 8th. Or no, not my 9th little villager in there, so I'm one away from the max. I had, no new villagers for such a long time. You get set up a campsite, and the villagers can come, and they'll, show up, and hey, look, who's staying at the campsite? And you'd be like, come on, join my island. And they always said no. And I went, oh, maybe I gotta upgrade my island a little more? I don't know. Google, look. It says, oh, just pester them 47 times, and they'll eventually give in. Oh, okay. So I found the cool wolf dude and it was like, boop, 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 boop. And it worked. So, hey, got a new dude, rearranging stuff, making it all pretty, making it all cool. Speaking of pretty and cool, what's prettier or cooler than Persona 5 Royal? Absolutely goddamn nothing.
Yeah.
Been playing that like a beast. On stream, twitch.tv/ThirdShiftMe, off stream, going up and down in mementos, having a great time, leveling up all my people. I did it. You missed it because you couldn't watch on your phone because you destroyed all
my
your data by watching me anyway. But on the last stream, even before the end times, which I'm going into, I managed to get all my confidants to max. So I went on that stream. I went, oh, check this out, guys. Max. Feels good. Feels right on a Saturday night, except for those two that I don't care about.
I was going to say, don't
touch
confuse the audience here, though. It's the ones you chose to level up. So there's a couple there that they don't exist for you.
I still guarantee I could have gotten them because I went to the jazz club like 30 times at night when I had nothing else to do. Even before I started leveling up the gun shop dude who was only at night, I was like, I don't care about any of these people. Here, there, up, down, every single where. And it's finally that I exhausted all of those that I started leveling him up. So I would have gotten them all, but I just don't care about those two. Meh, whatever. But having a great time in that. It's awesome. The end times are coming, and I'm pretty sure the game is going to like cut off the in-game streaming at some point. So maybe I'll have to end it and go to something else on stream. But for now, hey, stick around and watch me beat the ever-loving crap out of this game because, oh, dude. Okay, I got just 2 seconds. Mashiki Oji, in the lock, his strength is maxed. It's 99. And then I also fused a level 99 Persona the other day. I made Lucifer. He has all the best skills. It's freaking ridiculous how awesome my personas are. It's great. Oh, I have so much fun. Listen to me have fun with that game on stream, twitch.tv/ThirdShiftMe. That was us individually this week. In the Gearbox front, it's time for my favorite part of the show because this is where it goes. Where I say, oh man, you know what we got? You know what's groovy and cool and stuff to watch for? We didn't get any shift codes for Golden Keys in Borderlands. So my life's ruined.
Hey, Matt, they were busy, okay? They were busy with all sorts of different things, such as getting ready for the Games of Summer IGN events, getting Godfall looking real nice and pretty. Okay, come on, cheer up. Put a smiley face on. All right, come on, buddy, come on back to me here. It's gonna be okay. They'll get back to them Borderlands, little beautiful little golden keys and stuff. It's coming. But right now, they have more. They have more things. They showed you the next DLC. They showed you when it's coming out. They said, hey, the freaking Takedown's coming. All these things. Come on.
I guess.
Chugga. Woo, woo.
All right, chugga. We'll do it. But I will say there was a cool thing that I was not expecting at all, and that was a Godfall trailer. Now, in our show notes that we do, I had a little Godfall like snippet. They did a little snippet on one of the weapons you can get in the game.
Eclipse.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, cool, that'll be cool to mention because we mentioned it last time. And then they went, hey, you know this PS5 reveal event? Here's a Godfall trailer for you. Boom, you can actually see it in action, have some fun, have a cool rap soundtrack over it. It was good to actually see it in action. Mm-hmm. I was very happy for that.
Yeah, that's what I was most excited about, seeing the sword fighting, etc. going on, some of the landscapes. And, of course, like you said, the music over top was fun and funky, and you're getting into it. I was like, yeah, here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Now I'm looking more forward to it because, of course, beforehand, hey, look at this character, look at this weapon, and then look at this, CG trailer we're showing you. All that's fine and dandy and fun, but like you always say, when I start to see the meat and taters of it, when I see the gameplay and see what's actually happening from moment to moment, that's when I start going, yeah, all right, I can get on board with this. And anytime you say loot, I'm usually on board anyway, so you had me from the word go. But definitely seeing all this, I was like, yeah, all right. Gearbox, they'll get me my copy. I'm going to be super stoked. Pop that sucker in. It's going to be great.
Heck yeah. Obviously, I want to see more gameplay to understand really how it flows and how it works. But I liked what I saw because it put me in the mind of like a brawler like Dynasty Warriors, but also heavier. So I'm interested to see if it goes like, if it can go like full wild brawler or if it goes a little bit more tactical, because the characters seem like kind of meaty, and there's not like tons of enemies on screen. So I'm interested to see if it does get to that point and there's just bunches of baddies and you get, you put on your badass sword and just cleave through them all, Or, what's the ramp up? What's the gameplay? I want to see more. And I feel like it was a good trailer because it whetted my appetite and made me more curious and eager to see more.
I agree with all that. And I will say, I hope, and I have no idea, but I hope it leans more towards the Dynasty Warriors side of it than tactical. We've talked about it a million times. I don't like it when I'm struggling to fight one-on-one or one-on-two and really having to dodge, parry, roll, and come back up, and just, that's not my style. But I don't want to see it go too crazy either. I don't want to just, I don't know. I don't think I want to see a Diablo where I'm just murdering hundreds of people on screen at the same time. But at the same time, as I say that out loud, if they can maintain the graphics and speed and everything else of what they showed, and you can do that, maybe, I don't know, maybe that will be all right.
I was just thinking, man, if you add that loot pool to it, you could make Dynasty Warriors pretty fun. Just hacking through a bunch of stuff and then ping, 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 stuff's just dropping everywhere. And I was like, well, that's the one game where I actually farm for legendary weapons. That's the one series that I actually farm. I'll just go and just cleave through all these stages, and oh man, I got a new horse saddle, got a new this, got a new that, got a new this. But like you said, I'm interested in a fair balance between those, and hey, we'll see what happens as it comes out holiday 2020 with the PS5, man.
Yeah, the mystery date that they did not reveal.
Yep. Which holiday is it? Is it St. Patrick's Day?
No, man.
Oh, we thought St. Patrick's Day 2020. It slipped to 2021. Oh, man.
We're doing some time loop craziness here. Oh, man.
And speaking of time loops, you got to use science to get into and out of a time loop. And what's more science than Borderlands science? They tweeted out a little article. I can't remember the website's name, but they said, here's an update on Borderlands science, how it's been going, what's next for Borderlands science, which is what I was kind of interested in the most. In this article, they talked about how Borderlands science is kind of based on another game of a similar nature that they had done before. And in that game's, I think, whole 10 years of existing, Borderlands science, in its however many months it's been around, absolutely trashed it in number of puzzles solved, blocks arranged. You know what I mean. So what's next for Borderlands science? They said they're going to look at all the results to understand how they went. They're going to assemble what's been done, actually put it together into their actual computer model that they've got, compare it to the computer mapping, and then build newer, and then here's my beef with it, newer and, quote, more challenging puzzles based on the results and how it's been analyzed and all that stuff. And I went, but it's not a puzzle, so you can't make it more challenging. So that's what maybe they're talking about, taking gaps of DNA where there's much less data that's been analyzed and trying to have you figure out where it would go. But it doesn't make sense when you're talking about facts and puzzles. How do you make facts more difficult? It's weird, but check out the article and learn more about it anyway.
Yeah, they'll figure it out, all right? I did enjoy reading that because I liked how they were like, well, not only did it help us with the main stats and data we were looking for, but this whole thing is actually helping in a bunch of other side studies as well.
True.
So it wasn't just one thing going on. It's no, it'll help us, but this data will also help this group of people, and this group of people, and this group of people. So therefore, by continuing this and getting the new puzzles or whatever you want to call it, it's not only just helping them, but it's helping so many other groups to get all the data they need to keep studying all this other weird sciencey stuff that's above and beyond what I know about.
So yeah, definitely go check out that article if you're interested in it. Definitely check out Borderlands science itself, because in the patch notes, which we'll get to in quite a while here, they did actually do some Borderlands science changes, just a little bit of tweaky tweaks. But I saw Borderlands science again, and I went, oh, what's this now?
Indeed they did. They did a few things. But IGN did a few things too, all right? It's the Games of Summer event going on as we speak, or maybe it's just getting over. I don't know what's going on in California. I couldn't tell you, folks. All I do know is they said, hey, Borderlands is in this too. And Borderlands was like, yeah, we're in it too. Guess what? Check in and tune in this time, and you're going to get an interview with Matt Cox and some more. 15 minutes of gameplay to be precise. But first, Matt Cox came on board, talked with IGN about the new DLC being released June 25th, and everybody went, huzzah, huzzah. If you've been paying attention, he didn't really say anything new. He kind of just went back over the new mount you're going to be getting, utilizing. He talked a lot about the weapons you're going to be finding. He says a whole bunch of new weapons. Of course, there's going to be a lot of them that focused on the Western theme, which he also brought up again, but he also was quick to say that it is a Western theme, but of course it's got the Eastern influence and a lot of unique areas that you haven't seen or been familiar with in any way, shape, or form in any of the previous Borderlands content. So definitely look forward to that. You've got all these new monsters, and he talked briefly about how it used to be an experimental planet, and then through the experiments, the wildlife things mutated and became crazy, and then the baddies in this, the Rough Riders, whatever they're called, slip in my mind. You guys know me. I can't come up with names. Maybe Matt will save it.
I had it when I rewatched the gameplay today, and it's gone now. I've been calling them Rough Riders, and it's messing me up because it's not the right. That's 100% wrong.
The Rough Riders, they roll in, hence why you're going to the planet in the first place, because there's a bounty put out for them, and you're going to save the day. He also then talked about all new characters. You're not seeing any returning characters. This is all new set of stuff for you to check out, learn who they are, get to know them, become friends or enemies with them. All in all, just kind of rehashed everything they've talked about and how this is going to be a very fun, unique, and different expansion for everybody to have a good time with.
I just wish that the gameplay segment showed that off a little bit more, because segueing into the gameplay, it started off with that new vehicle, and that looked cool. I like that. It looked interesting, and the setting and the music looked great. Okay, it is all new stuff, but I will say just the gameplay that they showed off was pretty basic. It was your basic trailer gameplay. Like when I play Borderlands, I'm running, I'm sliding, I'm jumping, I'm running around like an absolute fool. And this was someone more calm and composed and kind of going through a lot of the comments that I saw on the YouTube version of this. People were saying, "Oh man, this doesn't look very good." I'm like, but it is. It's a low energy playthrough. When you're in and you're wilding out and enemies are dropping in
and everything's spawning everywhere.
Yeah, and you're in True Vault Hunter. It's Mayhem 3. There's explosions going off everywhere. So I'm excited to see that version of it that you and I are going to play, and just going wild and crazy with it.
And of course, when you say wild and crazy, one wild and crazy part about this one that we've talked about before, but I'll say it one more time, is he also mentioned the new platforming kind of things that are going on. They've got the air boosters, so you go flying, into the air and you can land on distant platforms. There's the teleporting. There's the poison flower thingies, and then which explode, send out crap all in front of you.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how these play out. He kept talking about it in the sense that it was going to actually make a difference. You know what I mean? Like, there was going to be secrets to find. There was going to be ways that the main quest, side quests made you engage with these things to solve puzzles, to figure out the quest, etc. I'm hoping that pans out. I hope that these things can be carried over into Borderlands going forward, because I do find those a lot of fun, especially like the platforming, jumping kind of stuff, and then like the teleporting into that would be really cool. There's a lot of possibilities. I got a little cynical side where it's going to be like 2 or 3 things you use it for, and maybe a secret, and then that's kind of it. So I'm hoping that it's all over the place and you're using it all throughout this DLC.
Yeah, I definitely hope that same thing. And dialing it back to the gameplay that they showed, you could see in that gameplay they tried to use what was it called, like the core boomer or the core blaster, that spiny one you hit and it shoots out the shotgun of stuff. You can see him try to use it a lot, but since I'm 100% sure they were just playing it on normal at level 40, there often weren't a lot of enemies around. So that was one thing that I was watching, and I was like, man, if this is in True Vault Hunter on Mayhem, there's stuff everywhere. I can't wait to run up, hit it, and just instant free damage. Maybe, while I'm trying to reload, run up, punch it. My reload's a little delayed, but whoosh, giant thing of damage, because it looked like it did great damage in that mode on that level. So hopefully that scales up pretty well too. But yeah, like you said, I'm all about secrets. I'm all about platforming. I'm all about sneaky snooking around, and we do it all the time. Try and wall hack up this wall and get over here. I hope they've just made a plethora of those areas, just pushed them all in here.
And they will, because it's Gearbox and they know what we want, and they listen to the show and they say, what is Matt and Eric looking forward to? All right, let's get that in the game. We got to do it. The only thing they've just failed to do is the damn Borderlands symbols, bringing those back in. Vault symbols, you know what I mean. Beats. If they get those back, they've done everything we've ever asked for, That's it.
Well, one new thing that they did bring to this DLC, we've mentioned it before, but this is the first time we've actually heard it, is in that gameplay reveal trailer, you could hear the narrator character that's kind of, voicing your actions and the story and all that stuff. And I was honestly surprised when I first heard it, and it took me out of the experience half a second, because like we talked about when we talked about him being announced, I had just beaten Bastion at that time. So I was thinking, the old gruff Bastion type of announcer. Just, and it was more of like a Matthew McConaughey kind of announcer guy, which is fine. He's got like a Western Southern voice, and it fits for the setting. But I was just like, that's not my announcer. What? But then by the time I got over it, it was well done. It was cool. I appreciate it. I love narration in things, in films and TV shows, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to like it. I'm going to love it. It was just kind of weird. So if you haven't seen it, check it out and see what I'm talking about.
And speaking of checking it out, everybody, guess what happened this week? We got some Gearbox patch notes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a whole crap load of stuff. Some of it I don't care about. Some of it I do. But to kick it off, Matt, the res changes have come. Finally.
They are finally here.
We needed this for so long. I can't tell you how many times I've got screwed over because I've been bumped 3 inches one way, 3 inches the other way, and not resed you or you resed me. Mm-hmm. And then you're looking there with your guff in your hand like a moron. And it's a tragic experience. I don't like it.
Yeah, I feel like we've been talking about this for months. Like they announced this months upon months ago, and we're like, yeah, it's coming next week, right? And they went, sometime. And then they talked about it again, and we went, yeah, next week, right? And they went, sometime again. But now it's finally here. It feels good. I mean, I have this perfect picture in my head of the last time we were playing the cartel event, rip-roaring, having a grand time, if you know what I'm saying. And I have this perfect snapshot in my brain of you down and me trying to find the 2 pixels that would res you. And you were going like this side to side, and I was going like that side to side to try to match you. And it was almost impossible to find you. So all the res changes are finally here, and if you don't know what we're talking about, it slows down the movement speed of someone on the ground being resed. It increases the radius in which you can res. Multiple people can res the same person to get them up quicker, and it also adds visual effects to the person being resed and the person doing the resing. So when you know you're in the sweet spot, I haven't seen it yet because I haven't played with anybody. Maybe you get a sparkle. Maybe you get a, hey, it's a res happening. Don't screw it up. Don't screw it up, idiot.
And see, you were thinking in close proximity how it would be helpful. But I was like, you know how many times I'm like, is somebody getting this person up? Do you need help over there? Like, who's...
True.
Now, if the effect is bright enough or whatever they do with it, visible enough, I will be able to just go, oh, that person's right there. Yep, okay, someone's resing them because they got the sparkles coming off of them. Cool. I won't have to ask every single time. I'll just look over, and if I don't see the sparkles, well, there's your answer. Nobody's resing them.
You know, that's a great point. I play with more than you so very few times that, you know, I think as far as I know, it's just, even as they're being resed, it's just the down icon.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if maybe they've changed that even to be like, hey, res in progress, or, you know, whatever, however they want to say it. But then, you know, join the res, because then, like you said, even if you weren't looking at them on the battlefield, you could see out of the corner of your eye on the screen their little down icon go from red to green or red to pink or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd be like, okay, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. I'm stoked about it. Most of all, since I usually only play with you, the whole co-op thing doesn't matter to me. But man, just the radius of the resurrection is fantastic.
Yeah.
And they didn't mention it, but I told you all last time. I said I hope they fix the fact that when you run up to the player, you don't reload first.
Right.
If you get within the animation of resurrecting, it just goes straight to resurrecting. It doesn't accidentally reload sometimes. I hope that's all cleared up and fixed, because that's the only other thing about resing anybody that's always driven me up a wall.
That's true. And we've never seen it anywhere, so I guarantee it's going to be worse somehow. You'll start reloading with 2 bullets still in your gun. Whoop, 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 here I go.
Oh, you're probably right. You're probably right. Maybe that's one bug that'll never be fixed.
But speaking of bugs and fixing them, they fixed 10 million bugs, all kinds of crashes, everything you could ever want. I'm going to highlight one of them because it really stood out to me. And I'm going to read it verbatim like I always say we should never do on the show, but I got to read this one out. It says, addressed a reported concern that the camera would sometimes tilt sideways when using a high fire rate weapon and strafing at the same time. And I want to highlight this bug because I'm sad that I never got this bug, because that sounds awesome. Like, I'm Johnny Circle Strafe, shooting off like 1,000,000 rounds of my gun, and then, like, even the camera can't keep up. It's like, whoa! Like, going into a John Woo slide of just, oh my god, you're so good! I want that. I want that.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's ridiculous, Matt.
Because I was just playing today. I have a really high fire rate gun. I would have loved to just be like melting enemies and then also, woo, John Woo slide.
Just going back all the way. Just point yourself towards walls and stuff. You'll be all right.
That's right.
No big deal.
That's how you do it.
It'll all work out. Yeah. See, now I tied bug and crashes together because I wanted to highlight the optimization, the whole thing. So I wanted to put that in there with it because for me, that's what I was looking for. They said from the word go they were going to keep improving the load times in the menus, all that good stuff. And sure enough, they've got the quick menu performance up, the main menu performance up, item inspection performance up, inventory performance up. It basically all the way down the line, in theory, because I haven't got to go in and actually check it out or play for myself, but they've sped up the processes, improved performances. So hopefully, with this whole patch here, we're on board for some quicker menu options, etc.
I did play a little bit today right before the show, and it feels like it was pretty quick, but at the same time, I don't often play solo. It's usually just with you, and it's that 4 to 5 second open your backpack before you can even go over to the other side. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any of that, but again, it was just solo play. So I didn't even notice that they made those adjustments. It's a good thing regardless. Hopefully it helps all the way instead of just a little bit.
That's what I'm hoping for. I hope this is like the final fix where they really went in and dug deep and got it, lashed out, all the poison out and everything's smooth. We'll see. Like you said, we won't really be able to tell me and you both get on and check it out for, as a team.
And speaking of things we do as a team, we play in that Mayhem mode. We're always rocking it up to Mayhem level 7, 8, 9, and 10. Aren't we, Eric? No, we're not.
Yeah, all the time.
But, yeah. Oh, I thought you were just going to say no and call me an idiot. Oh, shucks.
Oh. No, man. We're the best. Pro level, top end, man.
But, of course, they were talking about, weeks ago when they announced the Mayhem 2.0 changes, rebalancing health and shields and armor in those levels. I was kind of shocked when I was reading through it, and it was like, oh, yeah, it used to be, the health bonus was 12,500%. Now it's down to 10,000. I went, I'm never going to play that mode. That's too scary. I don't want to do that. That's too much. It's too hard for me. Even with my John Woo slide. Woo!
Yeah, it is tough. I think the other day when we were playing, we were in Mayhem 6 or 7, and even that was doable. But you got to work, you got to put in some work. It wasn't just, hey, boom, 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 explosions everywhere, everything's dead, we're moving on. Mm-hmm. No, it was, hey, this guy's not going down, make sure you get the right elemental on, etc., etc. I was like, oh, I don't know. This doesn't seem like drinking beers would probably go real well with this.
But they did do a whole lot more changes in Mayhem with the mods, tweaking this, tweaking that, reported issues, crashes, bugs, all kinds of good stuff. Those 2 that they took out are still out, though. I believe it's Out of Bounds, and I can't remember the other one. Oh, my goodness. Those 2 that were disabled, because they were breaking the game or letting you get out of bounds or all that other stuff, those are still disabled for now. They're going to continue to work on those in the future. Hopefully we'll see those again a little bit later, especially because I never got to see them the first time. I want to know what kind of cool stuff you could do with it, even when you're not breaking the game.
I agree with that. I'm excited to get into Mayhem mode and get higher, but like I told you, I ain't even max level yet, Matt. I'm not even back at max level. I can't do anything. I'm just a scrub.
I'm going to cut out your part about being back at max level. I'm just going to leave it as, when I edit it, it's just going to be, I'm not even max level yet. I'm like, yeah, Eric doesn't even play this game, guys. He's been lying, saying he was max level before. Oh,
yeah, here's the truth. He never got there. He never did it. He was lying all along.
He was sitting there at level 40 the whole time going, oh, I'm not going to play through it again. Shucks.
Oh, man. But, of course, there are a ton of things, as Matt said, with the Mayhem coming out. You're going to want to get in there and read a bunch of that stuff because it's bananas. I mean, we weren't kidding you when we said this thing's huge. They did a lot. Before I forget, want to mention the cartel event because this was humorous, Matt.
Yeah.
We said, there's no way they're not going to bring this back more than the one time a year. And in the patch notes, it says, it will not be back this year.
Yep.
I was like,
they said, that's it for this year. See you next year, idiots.
And we went, yeah, they listened to this show and they said, no, idiots, it's not coming back. You are wrong. It'll be next year. You will have to suck it up. But they are keeping the cartel anointments in the loot pool.
Yeah.
So, huzzah, at least there's that. But if you ain't got the guns and everything else, you're out of luck because sayonara cartel event till next time, this year, whatever, next year, if we're even alive. I mean, killer bees and stuff, who knows?
Yeah, man, Murder Hornets. That sounds like a great gang name. We're the Murder Hornets.
Sounds like a good metal name, too. I mean, it really fits anywhere.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Maybe in Yakuza, Murder Hornets. Like part of the Murder Hornets gang.
Oh, dude, that'd be so good. Oh, man. But you know what? Speaking of things that are really good and that were totally unexpected, just like Murder Hornets coming across the seas, we got a whole lot of weapon buffs in this patch. I was not expecting that at all. Gosh, like 10, 12 guns that had weapon buffs, damage buffs. The one I did want to point out, because it's my favorite gun out of all of these, the Handsome Jackhammer. It needed a boost because anytime I got one, it felt like it was 10 levels below in damage any other gun. And I love the Handsome Jackhammer because it's Handsome Jack talking to you the whole time. And when you reload it, you throw it out, and it does that bouncy Nova, and you're always like, what's making that Nova? Oh, wait, it's me. I forgot because I have the cool Handsome Jackhammer. So I'm glad to see that his damage is going up because I love that gun, and I just hate not being able to use it ever. So now, maybe I can use it a lot more.
Well, I was excited to see in general, speaking of which, the SMG boosts all around. You said there were a ton of them, and I want to say the bitch. Oh, yes, thank you. I used to love the bitch. And now I get to love the bitch again. And that makes me very, very happy. It's a similar thing to you and your Handsome Jackhammer. Mm-hmm. I was sad to see that it just wasn't putting out damage, wasn't doing what I wanted to do. So I just let it go by the wayside. But now that the damage is back up, I'm hoping it becomes something I can utilize once again. But all in all, just all the SMGs that they buffed damage-wise, I'm super excited for. Because SMGs, let's face it, I think are some of the best guns in the game. They're just very reliable and put out a lot of damage, or seem to.
Yeah.
So, if I could just have all SMGs except for the fact that the ammo sucks, because then I run out and I'm screwed, I'd do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's just like me with Atlas Assault Rifles, man. If I could just have those forever and just have different ammo pools for each one, I would rule the whole world, dude. It'd be awesome.
Rule the world with Atlas. That's not that's not terrible, man. That's not terrible.
See, it's a good thing. But what's not a good thing is along with buffs, what comes along with buffs. You know it. It's nerfs. No. Weapon nerfs are here. A lot less weapons got nerfed than buffed. There were only like 3 or 4 or 5. I don't know because there was only one I paid attention to again, and that was the yellow cake. And let me let you in on a little secret. If you're not in our Discord server, which you should go to at, I don't know how to get there, but go to our tweet and click on the Discord link, and that'll help you join
that magic way. However you get Discord. Everybody's got Discord now. I mean, for God's sakes.
Just find us on Discord. Join in because our buddy Sean Haggerty, our number 1 fan from way back in the day, our original OG fan, we were talking about playing over the weekend or getting you leveled up again. And he went, hey guys, I actually have a whole bank and an inventory full of yellow cakes. I'll send them out to anybody who wants them. Just say the word, use them before Gearbox nerfs them. I think this dude works at Gearbox. He's a secret, Gearbox contracted employee up there in Minnesota. And he was like, nerf's coming soon. I better get rid of all these crappy ones. I'm going to send them to my friends. But it just made me laugh that use it before Gearbox nerfs them, and then they immediately nerfed them.
I had just got one, and I was like, all right, let me check out why he's so excited about this, because I had not previously touched it, used it, and it doesn't matter now. They went ahead and nerfed it. It's over. Now I don't care. I'll check it out just for funsies. And then on top of that, I remember loving the Sandhawk in Borderlands 2.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all right. You know what? I got it. And I had a Sandhawk, but I didn't really mess with it too much because I got it while I was leveling, so it just came and went.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to get back there and get a maxed, anointed Sandhawk, blah, 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 all that good stuff. Never did it. And now it doesn't matter because the Sandhawk's been nerfed too. So now it's just as good as every other gun, which means it's still probably pretty dang good, but it's not going to be OP, going nuts, killing everything, having a good old time. So little sad face, but oh well.
And you made a good point. Everyone complains about weapon nerfs, but it's because weapons are OP. Gearbox has said it a million times. Everybody's got to farm for your yellow cake or your Maggie or your this or your that, because those are the 4 weapons you need, and those are the 4 OP ones, and you got to get them. So taking them down a peg to make every gun viable is always a good thing, even though it doesn't feel good at the time.
Exactly. But it does ultimately make you better and the game more fun because now you can hunt for different builds and different guns to go kill baddies and be amazing.
But then pretty much ramping up the patch notes, they did make some buffs to certain anointments. The airborne anointment, side fire rate, action skill, and an auto bear, active incendiary damage, so that's one you should love. They got a little love too. If your build is based on some of those cool anointments, be happy, because now you got better and cooler stuff. You can do more damage. It's a great time for you.
It is indeed. And a great time, Matt, is something I think you might have had because you got out of work earlier than I did. So you got to maybe, I don't want to put words in your mouth, get in on the brand new patch and check out Takedown to Guardian Breach, which I'm jealous of if you did this because I totally want to see it. I love the Guardians. I love the whole aesthetic of the Guardians and I love the way their warriors fight and the airborne ones and the fast ones and the big old magicians and everything going on. Oh, I love it. I love it. And I haven't seen it or touched it yet because, of course, I came straight here all bewildered and scared.
But I saw it, and I touched it, and I did have a good time, but I also had a bad time, so I'm going to give you some first impressions on Takedown at the Guardian Breach. Obviously, everyone knows you go to Minos Prime, you have a little tiny scene with Tannis saying, hey, come check this thing out, and then drive over there. I will say the planet shot out the Sanctuary 3 window, really great, really cool. When it popped up, I went, ooh, damn, cool. Really beautiful. Go down on the planet. One thing that you instantly notice because you're you and me, and it's one of our favorite games, is you have moon gravity now, which I think we did see a little bit.
There was a little bit of moon gravity in Borderlands 3 when you were on the asteroid.
And I think we saw it just a little bit in the Borderlands show when they were talking about it, all spoiler-free and stuff. You did see a little bit of it. But you go down there and you're fighting, initially start off just fighting like beasts and things. Like, I don't know if there was a lot of wildlife on Necrotafeo, because they call them like necro bugs, but it's a lot of, ground and bug based enemies. It starts right away. You notice right away one of my issues with the Takedown as it is all of the enemies in it, guardians and beasts alike. When you shoot them, they have like a little electric nova that goes off, and it happens a lot. Like it happens like 4 or 5 times before they die. So if you have a close range build, say goodbye to your shields and your health, because it's I wouldn't say it makes it tough, but it makes it kind of annoying. Usually I use the assault rifle, so I'm standing back. Mr. Beef's the one getting poofed, and they didn't take him down or anything, but it's just something to know and be aware of. And then I guess I'll roll into my main concern with it now. I had a good time. I enjoyed running around with my OPQ system, shooting enemies. I like the Guardians. I like them jumping around. I like the flying ones, even though they can sometimes be annoying. I did see some of the new forms of Guardians, too. There's some, I won't spoil some of the enemies, but they got a big thing up here, like around their head region. If you played it, you know it. I really liked those. I liked the design of the place. My main issue with it is all these beasties you fight. There are a lot of melee beasties. Like, they jump in and hit you, but when they jump in, they hit you, they also knock you back some. And this place is full of cliffs and edges and death pits. So I went in, I fought beasties. I was like, I'm having a good time. I got to a point where you shoot off like a jump jet, and I didn't make the landing somehow, and I fell in a death pit. And it went, start all over again. And I went, okay, fair enough. I don't know what happened there. Weird glitch. I started beelining straight back to where I was. Fell off a cliff, death pit. Start all over again. Okay. The next time through, which I'll get into because I got to the sub-boss, I had a great time busting through all this great stuff. And then there was a place where you have to defend a point, and it's on like a little cliff. What happened? Everybody jumped into me. Boop. I got booped like 3 times, instantly off, instantly dead. Because you can't do anything once you fall off a ledge. Everybody's just instantly dead. So even if you're in a party of 4, Billy's gone. Sam's gone. So I went, okay. As with the Maliwan Black Site, once you beat the sub-boss, you have the little fast travel. Or there it just spawned you in there. Like, all right, fair enough. Go back in. I fought the first wave of the little beasties, and the exact same thing happened. 1, 2, 3 hit me in a row, and I went, boop, boop, boop. And I said aloud, I'm never playing this again. And then I went, no, dude, you got to play it. Jumped back in, beat the first wave of baddies, got to the second wave of baddies, boop, boop, boop. And I got very angry. That's really my only beef with it at this point, because otherwise the baddies are unique. They look cool. Like, there's some enemy types I haven't seen before, even in the beasties. But it's so annoying to get knocked back. And, sure, you can just like hug a wall and but if you don't move, then when the enemies jump on you and you shoot them, poof, 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 nova in your face. So you should be moving, but you also have to take into account where all the cliffs are and where the little pits are. It's really frustrating when it happens to you a lot. That's, like I said, that third run through where I got all the way to the sub-boss and started making really good progress. It felt good. It felt great. Having a blast, just melting stuff with my OPQ system and running around meeting all the new baddies and all the stuff. But when you have that bad luck with the beasties and you can't do anything. You can't move. There's no like dodge left or right. There's no like whoosh rush button or anything. You just boop, boop, boop. Off you go.
Yeah, and I wonder with more people if that's going to be a little bit less of an issue because, of course, the baddies will be spread out amongst others. But then again,
true.
You did have Mr. Beef to spread out some of it, and it still obviously wasn't helping out too much. So that is concerning to me because that forces a play style in which you're constantly backing up against the wall. And then, of course, you're going to have to split the difference with the baddies to try to mitigate that whole thing, and which is a strategy in and of itself.
Right.
But until you become a little more OP, I don't know how much you're going to be able to, change the strategy up and have, a different attempt at it and have more fun by diversifying what you're doing.
It was just really frustrating because I had such a good time with new baddies, with new enemies, with a new location to go to, new somewhat jumping puzzle type things to do. I won't spoil anything there. And then the sub-boss was awesome. Like, I liked the little Valkyries in the Maliwan Black site. That was cool too because you got the 3 different types and they had the 3 different attacks and all that stuff. But in this one, I really love the sub-boss because I'll spoil a little bit for you. So if you don't want to hear, take your earbuds out right now. But you start off, there's like all different platforms all around the whole area. You start off in this big central platform. He comes down. He's a big old dude, You shoot him, and as you're taking chunks off of his 2 armor, 1 health bar, at least that's how it was when I was playing. As you take sections out of that armor, he starts like overloading and like putting out this big old aura around himself. But when that happens, all these jump jets activate on that central platform that take you to the other ones. So as you see him go, and he goes immune, so you can't do anything to him anyway. You see this big Nova coming out, jump jet over to the other platform, kill some other enemies, kill the ads and stuff. He'll jump down to that platform. You repeat the same process. But what I really loved was eventually the more you got him down, because I did beat him, the more you got him down, the more like false hymns would be on the other platforms. So as you see him start going Nova, you like do a quick like 180 and you're like, okay, I see also a little Nova over here and one over here. So I'm going to try and get back down to the center one again. Or like at the very last phase, there was only one safe platform. So it was so fun to just like, I can't go here, but I need to go over there to get to the other one so I can go down here too. It was tense and cool and interesting. And he wasn't just like a big damage sponge that you just sat there and shot and he just laid waste to you. I liked that it broke up the fight. You had all kinds of different phases and you had to move, you had to run around, you had to dodge and do stuff. And his big Nova did big crazy damage once it finally popped. It was like he was blowing up a bubble and then it popped. Because I did get caught once, and it put me instantly down. But, of course, I had a little guardian, like, flipped over my back and went, hey, buddy, you're down. And I went, and then back up again. So it was fun moving around and fighting in a cool, different way, using the jump jets and, like, plotting out the route you had to go. Because there were so many times where you'd be in a corner, and the 2 you could get to easy had shadows on them. So you had to go there, but then also, like, redirect yourself just enough to not fall off, but then also have a quick route to get to the jump jet to the center. Really cool, really fun. I wish I'd gotten to the main boss to see what he was like, but that was when the boop boop started happening. But that sub-boss was great. I really loved it. I can't wait to play it on higher difficulties or with more people and just to have a blast, because you could even, when the jump jets come on, you could go to separate ones, see where he goes, have someone be a long ranger, and then also scoping out your, where you can go from there. Oh, just calling it out. Go right, dude, go right. Go to the north one. Go. Oh, I can't wait to play it with just more than myself.
I look forward to it. Everything sounds pretty cool. The booping thing does seem annoying, but I feel like, I hope anyway, that with more people it might not be as disturbing and annoying. Yeah. But I love the idea, and as you always hear me say, of more mechanics and more interaction with bosses instead of just lots of damage on you, lots of damage on him, who can survive the longest. You win, hooray! Because I just feel like the smarter you are, there should be some reward for that. If you're clever enough to see a routine or a weakness, in which case you did something or something special, you should be rewarded for that instead of just, hey, this gun and my build are so good together that I win. Mm-hmm. Which, that strategy and skill in and of itself, I'm not saying it's not, but, that's the typical, hey, what did Lazy Data or whoever, Killer 6, whatever, whoever has the best build, what'd they say for me to do? Click. Okay, copy it. Yay, here I go. You know, you can't get the skill from them of having to jump around and dodge and juke and jive and hit specific points in certain sequence orders with your friends, etc. That comes from you. You have to get the skill set to do that instead of just copy somebody's build and shoot face and win.
Yeah, and it just added that little bit of tension of just, I know big damage is coming. How do I get out of here? Without having it just be like Wotan. Like in a lot of his things, it's like, well, big damage is coming and there's nothing really you can do about it because his turn's coming. And bzz, there it is. But now you have all these ways to escape. It was tense. It was cool. It was interesting. I really hope the main boss, whenever we get to them, has a lot of cool mechanics and cool abilities too. But I just loved that sub-boss because it was something almost completely different in Borderlands from what I can remember. Usually everything's just swooping around or standing right there and shooting at you. And just, here's the part where you have to turn and run and you have to get to a safe space. It was just a lot of fun. I really, really liked it, especially in, like, sandwiched by the 2 frustration bread slices. That was a big, delicious piece of meat that I really, really liked.
Speaking of big old delicious meat, Matt, what a delicious episode this has been, and I can't wait till this weekend when me and you can both eat those delicious meat sandwiches together and play this Takedown. But for now, I haven't experienced it myself. I haven't got a chance to get in there, so I can't add anything else to the conversation at this point. But next week, you can be sure I will have had some experience.
Now, do you want to be part of the conversation there, listener out there in podcast land? Because you can. You can send us comments, questions, concerns, any kind of feedback at all. You can definitely send us love for episode 200, which is coming out in 2 weeks, unless we have some kind of break or interruption. Send that to the new email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com. Tweet it at us at ThirdShiftME, and find us on Facebook under Third Shift.
Y'all know the rigmarole. You can find us over there. You can also find us on that wonderful Patreon. We treat it like a little old tip jar. You like what we're doing, want to support us, keep us going, consider throwing $1, $2, $3, $5, $1,000. Anything helps us out. Maybe even that coveted $1 million, in which case we're going to upend our whole lives, make that food line and have a whole bunch of fun inside there. We got babies with jars. We got the unpatented but soon to be patented cold cocks. We got lions and costumes, koi fish. We got all sorts of stuff going on there. You're going to want to check it out. You're going to want to throw us $1 million. I'm sure of it. But if you don't have the $1 million today because you didn't win the lotto, you can support us in so many other ways, like going over to said Twitter, going over to said Facebook, Twitch, all these things, subscribing, following, liking, 5-star ratings. All those things keep bolstering us up and pumping us up, as well as, hey, mailbag questions. Hey, some episode 200 feedback, as Matt just said. All these things can help us be motivated and stay happy little lambs. So maybe consider it. I don't know.
And maybe consider listening to our very next episode, which will drop as usual on Friday or Thursday night, whatever my preference is. But you can definitely find it on the 19th of June. That'll be episode 199. You can find that episode on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. And as I always say, if you like what we're doing and you'd like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services. Because look, hey, it does help us out. And we really do appreciate it. We appreciate you, podcast listener, out there in podcast land. I appreciate you. Eric appreciates you. What more do you want?
I know. What more could you want? You know, I want one more thing. It's called a 5-star rating. I said a 5-star rating. Yeah, you know the deal. It's a 5-star for me. I gotta live with the 5-star recipe. Okay.
Nice. Not bad. But you know what? There's one more thing I want on top of that, and it's for us to say, don't forget to say,
shut up and sit down.